Dear friends, I invite you to listen closely as I share with you a dark chapter from history, a tale that has cast a long shadow over the passage of time. A story of tragedy and horror that unfolded on a quiet, isolated farm in the heart of Bavaria. This is the harrowing account of the Hinterkaifeck Murders. In the days leading up to the gruesome events, the family patriarch, Andreas Gruber, began to notice a series of ominous signs. Unexplained footprints in the snow caught his attention as they led from the nearby woods to the farm, but none led back. He spoke of these strange tracks to his neighbors, voicing his concerns about a potential intruder. Further unsettling discoveries emerged. The tool shed, once locked and secure, had been found open and disturbed. Andreas couldn't shake the feeling that someone or something was lurking in the shadows, watching his every move. Adding to the growing unease, Andreas and his family were tormented by strange noises coming from the attic. In the dead of night, the creaking of floorboards and unidentifiable whispers filled the air, chilling them to the bone. Despite their fears, they never ventured into the dark recesses of the attic to uncover the source of the eerie sounds. As the days went by, an atmosphere of dread and uncertainty settled upon the Hinterkaifeck farm, leaving the family on edge, unaware of the horrific fate that awaited them. On the fateful night of March 31st, 1922, the sinister presence that had haunted the Hinterkaifeck farm finally made its move. An unknown assailant, armed with a pickaxe, silently crept into the unsuspecting family's home, beginning a night of terror that would forever be etched into history. The cold-blooded killer meticulously targeted each family member and the housemaid, systematically luring them to their doom. It's believed that the murderer first led the victims one by one into the barn, where they met a brutal end. The pickaxe, wielded with devastating force, claimed the lives of Andreas Gruber, his wife Kazilia, their widowed daughter Victoria, and her daughter, also named Kazilia. After the grim task in the barn was complete, the assailant moved to the main house where the remaining victims lay sleeping, unaware of the horror that had transpired. The killer showed no mercy, using the pickaxe once more to end the lives of Victoria's young son Joseph and the housemaid Maria Baumgartner. The bodies lay undiscovered for several days, hidden away from the outside world as the Hinterkaifeck farm fell silent. It wasn't until neighbors grew concerned by the family's sudden absence that they ventured onto the property, only to stumble upon the horrifying scene that awaited them. As word of the gruesome murders spread, authorities launched a meticulous investigation to uncover the perpetrator. They were faced with a baffling crime scene that held few clues, and the remote location of the farm only added to the difficulty of the task at hand. Leading experts from across the region were brought in to examine the evidence, as local authorities worked tirelessly to pursue every possible lead. Hundreds of suspects were questioned, including drifters, neighbors, and even family members. Despite their best efforts, the investigators struggled to find any definitive evidence that could point them toward the murderer. Theories abounded, ranging from vengeful neighbors to escaped asylum inmates, and even rumors of incest and family disputes. Yet none of these leads could be substantiated. The chilling reality that the killer had evaded capture only added to the growing sense of unease surrounding the case. As the investigation dragged on, the public's fascination with the Hinterkaifeck murders grew, turning the once obscure farmstead into a site of morbid curiosity. People traveled from far and wide to catch a glimpse of the ill-fated farm, hoping to catch a glimpse of the inexplicable horror that had unfolded within its walls. As the investigation unfolded, it became apparent that the killer may have been hiding in the farm's attic for days, even weeks, before committing the heinous act. The strange noises and disturbances the family had experienced prior to the murders now took on a chilling new significance. The family had been living their lives, completely unaware of the sinister presence lurking above their heads, watching and waiting for the perfect moment to strike. But the horror doesn't end there. In the days following the gruesome massacre, it is believed that the killer lingered in the house, living among the lifeless bodies of his victims. Neighbors reported seeing smoke rising from the chimney, and it appeared that someone had been caring for the animals on the farm. The thought of the murderer dwelling in the very place where he carried out the brutal slayings adds an even more macabre dimension to this already haunting tale. Despite the authorities' best efforts, the Hinterkaifeck murders remain one of the most chilling unsolved crimes in history. The identity of the merciless killer and the motive behind the brutal massacre continue to elude us, leaving only questions and a lingering sense of dread. Now I ask you, dear viewers, to ponder this tragic story and share your thoughts with us. What do you believe transpired on that ill-fated night? Could it have been a stranger, driven by madness or malevolence, or perhaps someone much closer to home, harboring a secret grudge that turned deadly? As you lay your head down to rest tonight, remember that sometimes the most terrifying tales are not born from the realm of fiction, but rather they reside within the shadows of our own world, waiting to be uncovered.